What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn says that he is truly frustrated concerning Dillian Whyte. Of course, we know Dillian Whyte had a supposed positive drug test by UKAD, okay? And UKAD has supposed to be getting a sample or a second sample made, but VADA has approved him to fight along with UKAD. So it's a frustrating thing, and he wants some closure personally so he can inform other people what's going on with Dillian Whyte. Of course, he doesn't know because lawyers are involved in those negotiations with UKAD, and they don't want to disclose any information. So it's still in limbo. However, Dillian Whyte can fight tomorrow. Okay? Dillian Whyte he's cleared to fight wherever. He can fight when he wants to. He's still training according to Eddie Hearn, and of course his trainer, Dillian Whyte's trainer, also said that he's been in for some sessions with him. So it's so he's not just sitting on the couch, getting fat, but it is frustrating. I can see how it is frustrating because this thing that just happened, and then all of a sudden, some more tests come out and then he passed, but then the initial test remains the same. So now you're looking at it like, okay, so what's going on? It's just like everything got put on pause. But then if it's an urgency to see what's going on with a fighter, there should be some type of rushed result. You know what I mean? Like, how long does it take you to get drug tests back? You know what I'm saying? Do they got to send it off? Does it got to come back? Or what? Is it another test that they took, but then already VADA has already tested him twice and he passed those tests? So I don't really understand what it is with UKAD. I think, again, with I think it was Carlos Molina, in his situation, in his story, and his experience with UKAD, I think that it is some shadiness over on that end, and you can't really say that it's like a biased British company, because if that was the case, Dillian Whyte wouldn't have had any problems at all, because Dillian Whyte is British. You know what I mean? So I think it's just a pick and choose kind of situation, and on who they choose to mess with or whatever. You know what I mean? But it still does not explain this drug test. And Eddie, being Eddie, that's one of his top heavyweight fighters. I can see why he's frustrated. He wants to get him out. He wants to, get him fighting again so he can get exposure again, and then that really doesn't really... See, here's the problem with UKAD. You have UKAD, you have VADA, you have the WBC with the president, Mauricio Suleiman, right? You have that, and according to the UKAD is the reason why they stripped his opportunity for him being the mandatory for the WBC, right? That's all they had to know, is he failed a drug test and it was hearsay. That's why they snatched it away. However, then they backtracked. The WBC did. They backtracked and said, no, he's still in the rankings, but he just doesn't get that privilege no more until we find out what's going on with UKAD. So UKAD, in fact, is the reason for holding it up. Now, if UKAD's waiting for whatever or whoever, that's something that we still don't know, right? So we don't know what's going on. With UKAD. We don't know if UKAD's waiting for anybody, but they're holding up progress for a particular fighter. You know what I mean? The guy's training, but then how effective could you train when you have things like this that you don't know of? You don't know the result. You don't know what the sample is going to come back. Because if it came back one way, what are the chances of it coming back the same way? You know what I mean? So it's crazy. So I can see why Eddie Hearn is frustrated, but the good news is he is cleared to fight, right? But that's not the point. Dillian Whyte can fight whenever, right? They didn't suspend him. I mean, really, they did. They put him on a temporary suspension. You know what I mean? But really, a temporary suspension is really bullshit. You know what I mean? Because that's like, hey, we don't know what's going on with you, so we're going to temporarily put you on suspension. No. Why don't you find out what's really going on? Then suspend that person when you find out. How about that? Me counterpunching that, that's the way you do it. And you don't strip a man that's been waiting hundreds of days to fight a particular champion that seemingly doesn't want to fight him. Okay? So, you know, you gotta add all this up, and then you just pick any old reason to snatch this guy away from that opportunity when he finally earns that opportunity. You know, so there's a lot involved that people don't talk about. You know, it's just the big excuse is UKAD, right? So they are the target, you know. So, yeah, back to Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte can fight whoever, but it's not whoever. It's the particular person that he's earned his opportunity to fight. That's if he did everything by the book, fair and square. But anyway, that's my take on that. You guys tell me what you think about Eddie Hearn's comments. Of course, please subscribe. You guys been Counterpunch. Peace.